Krishna. But we use them to please Krishna, and because of that, they don't inhibit the natural expression of our spiritual energy. In fact, they help it. So just like Prabhupada gives the example of offering prasadam, offering food and then taking the prasadam from Krishna. And it can be very nice, palatable food. That's all right. To live on beans or something like that, dry bread and beans or something, that would be horrible. But the impersonalists do stuff like that, or they just eat fruit. There's one famous guy, Baba Haridas, who only eats milk. I think he did like a cup of milk a day or something like that. Why does he do that? Why doesn't he eat normally like a regular person? And he doesn't speak either. That's probably a good thing. But he still carries around a little slate, and he writes everything on the slate. Krishna. But we use words that are offered to Krishna. Words about Krishna. Krishna's holy name. Words about our service. Like just a few minutes ago, we had this big conversation about how to move a bunch of files around on our website. Sounds really material, but for us it was no burden. It was no trouble because it was all to serve Krishna. Like, where are we going to put Vishnu Sahasranam? Where are we going to put the Ishopanishad? Where are we going to put the different multimedia files and this and that? It's nice because it's all transcendental sound vibration. So we don't think of it as work. It's like it's part of our loving relationship with Krishna. So all of this stuff that we have and all the tools that we use, if there was some earthquake and all of it was lost, we wouldn't be unhappy. It would just be an interruption of our service, but it wouldn't actually, it wouldn't actually stop us from serving Krishna. You see? It might make us a little bit less able to help other people serve Krishna, but it wouldn't stop us from serving Krishna, so it wouldn't really hurt us. You see? Once you start to measure everything in terms of Krishna's service, this is the key. You see? When we measure the value of something, we have some measure in mind, like money. Some people measure everything in money. Well, that's worth $500, and that's worth $200, and they actually compare things like that, and they value things like that. This camera is worth $1,500, and that one's only $20. So this is much better. And then they become attached to it based on their measurement. And then if anything happens to it, then they're very upset. I'm $1,500 worth of upset over there. But the devotees measure everything in terms of Krishna's service, right? And how is our day? How is the day going? Well, was I able to engage in Krishna's service today? Yes. Well, what happened? The house burned down and we lost everything. But I got my beads, so I can still chant. So I can still be engaged in Krishna's service? Okay, no problem. You see? That's how the devotee thinks. So devotees have a different value system than a materialist, or a different value system than the impersonalist. The impersonalist is thinking, how can I come up with such a novel argument that my philosophical opponents won't be able to defeat me? See? Because of that, he's stressed out, and he's like always, making a big effort. So we don't have to do that. We don't have to live like that. We can always be engaged in Krishna's service. All we have to do is chant the holy name, Hare Krishna. We're immediately engaged. All we have to do is think of Krishna, or his service, or his devotees, or so many things. So if we redefine our values and reconstruct our life in terms of Krishna's service, then we're always engaged, we're always happy, we always have good energy, we always have a bright future ahead of us. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to worry. Try to understand. This is an ontological shift. That's why we put so much stress on the nature of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as an ontological work. Because this is called lazy intelligence. Why should I run all over the world and do so much work and try so hard when all I have to do is change my ontology? See? Why should I go out and build this big new computer when all I have to do is load a new disk into it? Upgrade the software. See? Why should I try to change so much in my life when all I have to do is change the way I look at it? You see? That's the key. And it's not just change it for the sake of changing it, but to change it in a specific way related to the absolute truth and related to devotional service to Krishna. That's the secret. That's what we're trying to communicate here. So anyone who does that, their desires are very easily fulfilled. The impersonalists who try to avoid everything material may undergo severe austerities, but they miss the opportunity of being engaged in the service of the Lord. Thus, their renunciation is not sufficient for perfection. There are many instances where, following such artificial renunciation without any contact with devotional service, the impersonalist again fell down and became attracted to material contamination. There are many supposed renouncers, even at the present moment, who officially become sannyasis or renunciants, and outwardly claim that spiritual existence is truth and material existence is untruth. In this way, artificially they make a show of renunciation of the material world. However, because they cannot reach the point of devotional service, they fail to achieve the goal, and they again come back to material activities such as philanthropic work and political agitation. There are many examples of so-called sannyasis who gave up the world as untruth, but again came to the material world because they were not seeking the real repose at the lotus feet of the Lord. In other words, let's say I want to give up something. What do I give up? Let me give up eating. So I'm just going to drink. I'm just going to take liquid food. I'm not going to eat anything. Right? This is artificial. Why is it artificial? Because I can offer nice foods to the Lord and they become prasadam. So why should I give them up? What do I gain from that? It's artificial. You see? The real perfection is to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So if we give up something that can be used in the Lord's devotional service, that's false renunciation. Falgu vairagya. You see? Or if I give up something artificially, well, it's the same principle. If I give up something that looks like sense enjoyment, but actually can be offered to Krishna, then I'm diminishing my devotional service. See? If I start to measure everything in devotional service, measured by terms, in terms of devotional service, that means the more I can increase, the better. So yes, give me a nice house. Yes, give me all kinds of facilities. Yes, give me all kinds of money. Yes, give me a country. Fine, give me a planet. I hear there's a vacant universe over in the next dimension. Can I have that, Krishna? I'll use it for your devotional service. Oh, no problem. Anything we can use for Krishna's service should not be given up. That's why we don't give up. You know, some people say when you become a sannyasi, you have to give up the internet. I actually heard devotees talking about this. If you're a sannyasi, you shouldn't have a computer. You shouldn't have access to the internet. Why? Well, because you might go look at a porn site. Well, wait a minute. I can go down to the corner magazine store and look at porn. The point is, if I'm actually engaged in devotional service, I won't want to. I won't have any desire for it. Well, why, what's that? Why should I do that? You know? Krishna is far more beautiful than any of these porn stars. What do I need that for? So even if I have a computer and I have access to the internet, I'm not going to misuse it. I'm going to use it for Krishna. If we didn't have access to the internet, we wouldn't be here right now talking to you. We wouldn't be preaching. You wouldn't even know about us. Because we're not on the internet. So just see. If we were to give that up artificially, our whole service would be devastated. You see? So that would be nonsense, wouldn't it? Yeah. So why should we accept this artificial renunciation? That's not real. It's our own speculation. It's like, actually counterproductive.